Good morning, agents, and welcome to another daily episode of Target Loot today for October 19th, the series that shows you the Target Loot map, farming tips and tricks, vendor reset highlights, and much more. I'm Agent Shadow, and if you enjoy my content, please consider pressing those subscribe and like buttons below. In the pinned comment, there are links to join my Discord and clan and support my channel, but the best way to support my channel is to watch my video to the end. But we'll cover that and more at the end of the video. Let's go ahead and get started with the Dark Zones first and the highlights from the vendors this week, then DC, and finally NYC Target Loot highlights last. Alright agents, so first off, I just wanted to give you a quick reminder to do your weekly SHG requisition and the weekly legendary mission, which is District Union Arena. You only have 19 hours left as of this recording before it resets for the week, along with the vendors. That's 2 exotic caches per character and 8 exotic caches if you have 4 characters per week. Definitely worth it, and I do this with at least 2 of my characters each week, and I'll be finishing this legendary mission today. Alright agents, well now we're over here in DZ West. So first off, at the vendor for DZ West, we got the Emperor's Guard knee pads. It rolls with a skill tier, 1% armor regen, and hazard protection. Now, for pistol targeted loot, you can get something, an amazing pistol for sure. The pistol that you can get, that's a DZ exclusive today, is called the Orbit. It comes with perfect finisher, and that is an amazing talent that you want on most weapons. Now, nowadays with the card custom pistol rolled with like Future Perfect or a pistol with NSYNC, those are great for skill builds, and the card is great for a DPS build as well, but I still recommend running the Orbit on most DPS builds. Alright agents, over here in DZ South, we don't have anything exclusive to the vendor, and we don't have anything exclusive to the Dark Zone. Of course, Hana Yu comes with a Force Multiplier backpack with perfect combined arms, but I highly recommend farming that in the Light Zone. And if it's not available in the Light Zone today, then I would just recommend waiting until the next day, tomorrow. Alright agents, and finally over in Dark Zone East, we do have Bellstone Armory as the targeted loot. Now, Bellstone Armory comes with the Everyday Carrier, which is, the perfect efficient chest talent. That's something that isn't a DZ exclusive, but what is a Dark Zone exclusive is the Liquid Engineer with perfect Bloodsucker. I have a build that I'll put in the top right card right now that utilizes that backpack, and it is extremely good. And this is an armor regeneration brand set that was introduced in Title Update 11. But remember that Liquid Engineer is kind of tough to get, so if you want to get it, I would grab it today in the Dark Zone East for sure. Also, in the vendor, you can get the White Death rolled with the Vindictive. Now, named items at the Dark Zone vendors cost 152 DZ resources. To get those DZ resources, you have to deconstruct the loot in your contaminated bag and then extract them. Otherwise, you just extract marked as junk loot. Alright, now let's go check out the Northside Target Loot highlights. Alright agents, we're over here on the Northside Target Loot highlights. So first off, let's do the invaded missions. So the invaded missions this week, and I believe just for the rest of the day today, is Camp White Oak, and then Jefferson Trade Center, American History Museum, and then the final 2 strongholds are District Union Arena and Tidal Basin. Alright agents, back to Northside highlights. Now, Gila-Guard's great for shield builds, but I personally don't farm for this. If you want to, comment in the comment section below and let me know if you farm for Gila-Guard, because I never really have. Although Walker Harrison Co. is at Coney Island Ballpark, so you can get the Chain Killer with Perfect Headhunter. That's a great chest piece. And what I'm hearing nowadays is that you want to run the all high-end headshot build. You don't want to run the 3 pieces, aces, and 8s. Since they took the multiplicative headshot damage out of it and made it additive, I guess it's better to run, like the Punch Drunk Mask, the Chain Killer, 2-piece Aralda Holdings, that build. And then speaking of Aralda Holdings, we got it at Manning National Zoo today, so you usually want to get Aralda Holdings with weapon damage, headshot damage, and either crit hit chance, or just weapon handling. I go with weapon handling. And if you want a backpack, you usually want to get the backpack with Aralda Holdings with Vigilance or Composure. That's what I use for my headshot build. And then finally, we got the summit. Now, like I told you guys the last few days or more, the summit is possibly tomorrow. Title update 11.1 might be coming out tomorrow, but at least tomorrow or within the next week, the targeted loot and summit are going to be changing. Summit no longer will have rally points. It's going to be floor starting at 1 to 100, and you choose your difficulty from the first floor, the directives and everything. And targeted loot is going to be something you can choose. The gear sets, they're all going to be split up into, specific gear sets. The targeted loot's going to be private based on individuals instead of the entire group. It's all going to change. So, that's going to be amazing. This is going to be a top place to farm. Probably the best place to farm in the game. And then today we got Petrov. So the only thing worth farming here today is the Contractor's Gloves. They give you 8% damage to armor. They're a great pair of gloves for sure, but they're no longer mandatory like they used to be. They are amazing on LMG builds, and if you're stacking damage to armor, they're amazing as well. Otherwise, I don't really recommend them. Alright, let's go check out the West Side Target Loot highlights. Alright, agents, we're over here on the West Side Target Loot highlights. So first off, I want to get started with Downtown West. We got rifles targeted loot, so that's the Diamondback and Merciless. And then of course, the best rifle in the game is the Classic M1A. You can get the Classic M1A or the Baker's Dozen, that's the named Classic M1A with Perfect Lucky Shot. And then of course, the best rifle damage talents that you can get in this game is Boomerang, Rifleman, and Ranger. I usually prefer Boomerang or Ranger. Rifleman is pretty good, but you got to be landing those headshots almost all the time. You got assault rifles in Constitutional Hall. You can get the exotic Chameleon. All the named assault rifles like the Mechanical Animal, Future Perfection, the Maniac, the named Burnout. Or you can just get one of the best assault rifles in the game. The best ones are the FAMAS, the Military AKM, the Carbine 7, the Police M4, and the G36 variants. You got gloves at DCD headquarters if you need those BTSU gloves, and that's another way to farm the Contractor's Gloves, but I highly recommend farming for Petrov. You got chest pieces at Roosevelt Island today as well. While it's not a True Sons mission, it still will drop the tardigrade exotic chest piece if that's what you're looking for. I see also Providence Defense at Potomac Event Center, so if you're looking for the Sacrifice with Perfect Glass Cannon, the Potomac Event Center is a pretty fast mission to run, and I feel like there's multiple bosses here. Now that I think about it, maybe there's not, but it's a pretty solid mission to run. We got Douglas and Harding at Foggy Bottom, so the Punch Drunk Mass with that 20% headshot damage I was mentioning before that you usually want to run on a Headhunter headshot build. This is where I would farm for it today. And then we got Sokolo Concern at Lincoln Memorial, so this is almost as good as having it at the summit. This is Lincoln Memorial. So if you're looking for Sokolo Concern, which I've used on many of my past like 3, 4, 5 builds I've put out, Sokolo Concern is amazing with SMG builds and basically mandatory. You want a good chest piece or backpack, usually with Adrenaline Rush on the backpack or Intimidate or Obliterate on the chest piece, then definitely try to pick that up. I forgot also Versatile on the backpack. I have a build with Versatile on the backpack. I'll put in the top right card right now. Lincoln Memorial is a fast mission to run. With that build I just put up in the top right card, I can get through this mission in like 8-9 minutes solo. We got holsters at DARPA Research Labs, so if you're looking for the Dodge City holster, now remember, if you don't have the Dodge City holster, when you farm holsters targeted loot, you're going to end up getting all these exotic parts that you go craft the Dodge City holster with. If you already have one, then it'll drop in holster targeted loot. You can also get the Imperial Dynasty holster, and finally the Forge holster, which gives you an extra 50% shield health, which is a whole extra skill tier to your shield. And then shotguns at the Pentagon, you can get the Sweet Dreams exotic shotgun. And then the 3 best shotguns in the game are the Mop with 10% armor on kill, which I roll close and personal on, the Custom M870, and finally the Marine Super 90. Now let's go check out what we got on the East Side Targeted Loot highlights. Alright agents, we're over here on the East Side Targeted Loot highlights. So first off, I just wanted to let you guys know we got LMGs at District Union Arena today. So if you're looking for the exotic Bullet King or Pestilence, You can run this on challenging or heroic, normal, story difficulty, whatever. Exotics do not scale with difficulty. And then of course you can get a named LMG like the Good Times with Perfect Fast Hands. You can get the Carnage, the Sleipnir, which you can craft at the White House, the New Reliable, which is probably my other favorite LMG, and the Quiet Roar. There's a bunch of named LMGs you can get. We also got rifles targeted loot again at Viewpoint Museum, gear system mods at American History Museum. You can farm that on heroic, and you have a decent chance to get a completely god rolled, like 12% crit hit damage mod, 6% crit hit chance mod, if you're running that on heroic. We got submachine guns at Capitol Building Stronghold, but just remember, in New York City today, there's submachine guns in the open world, so I don't recommend farming submachine guns here if you're looking for the Lady Death. If you're farming for the Lady Death, go ahead and head to New York City today, and I forget which area it is. It's more in the top north area, but that's where you want to farm for the Lady Death. Farming here, you'd want a good Vector variant or an MPX so that you can get the highest rolls possible, and the best talents for SMGs are usually measured or strained. But yeah, that's pretty much what I would get. The Dark Winter and the Apartment are Dark Zone exclusives, although the Dark Winter has dropped from targeted loot rewards for me personally. And then of course you can get the Safety Distance and Swap Chain, the two named SMGs that drop in the Light Zone. We got gear sets over here at Southwest and again at Space Admin. So if you're looking for anything but System Corruption, which is a Dark Zone exclusive, and then the Foundry Bulwark and Future Initiative chest and backpack pieces, those are still exclusive to the Iron Horse raid. Anything else you can get through gear sets. And then finally we got Alp Summit at Jefferson Plaza. So if you need the percussive maintenance with perfect tech support, which I doubt, then you can grab that today. Or what I recommend is a chest piece with empathetic resolve for a healer build. Alright agents, let's go check out what we got in New York City targeted loot highlights before I let you guys go. Alright agents, lastly we're at New York City targeted loot highlights. Now let's talk about the main attraction for today in New York City. So that's submachine gun targeted loot at the Civic Center. This is where you want to farm for the Lady Death. And the Lady Death, just from the past few days that I've been using it, it's been pretty amazing with this new PvP build I've been using. And yeah, it's definitely worth the farm for sure. Even in PvE, it just absolutely obliterates everything with the build I've been using. Anyway, so this is where I would farm for it today because it's from the two main sources. It's from SMG targeted loot, and then of course open world New York City bosses. So this is where I would farm for it for sure today, and you have a good chance of it actually dropping. Of course, we got the assault rifles double targeted loot at 2 bridges. We got Overlord at Stranded Tanker. So if you're looking for those Fox's Prayer knee pads, they give you 8% damage to targets out of cover. That's multiplicative damage, the best damage in this game. It's almost mandatory to run, these Fox's Prayer knee pads with most DPS builds. Now, if you're running Hunter's Fury or my 4-piece True Patriot, it's not necessary at all. But usually any other DPS build, you're going to be wanting to run those. We got Bellstone Armory at Pathway Park. You can get the, Everyday Carrier with Perfectly Efficient. Although I still haven't used that chest piece. I haven't found a use for it yet. I can't wait for someone to find a use for it, or maybe I'll try it out and see. We got Badger Tough at Wall Street. You can get the 0F's chest piece with Perfect Unbreakable, which is still an amazing chest piece and talent, by the way, for DPS builds if you're still using that. I have multiple builds I'll put in the top right card right now that utilizes that chest piece in particular, and it absolutely shreds and gives you a lot of survivability as well. We got knee pads at Liberty Island. So the Fox's Prayer knee pads you can farm for through knee pads targeted loot, but I always recommend Overlord. Now with knee pads, this is what I recommend. The Ninja Bike Messenger knee pads, which gives you 25% bonus armor when you vault or cover to cover, and then it reloads your weapon and skips the backfire bleed also, by the way. And then the Sawyer's knee pads, which gives you 1% damage every second all the way up to 30. And then that's, as soon as you move, it starts going away, but it's pretty good for LMG builds, which is what I use them for, and sometimes even headshot builds. And then finally, we got masks at Financial District. So you can get the Coyotes mask, you can get the Vile mask, and the Punch Drunk mask. Those are the 3 exotic and named masks. And of course, I would get the Punch Drunk mask from Douglas and Harding targeted loot, like I said, in DC. But if you want the Vile mask or the Coyotes mask, Financial District is where you want to be today. Alright, agents. Well, that was the targeted loot for today, October 19th. Thank you guys so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed my content. If you would like to become a member for support and exclusive perks, you can click the join button below to further support my dream of being a full-time content creator, or you can grab some Shadow Gaming merchandise. I just added a bunch of new designs and cool stuff to buy. I lowered the prices across the board on every item in the store, and I have a promo code that gives you free shipping until October 24th, and that's an $8 savings. So if you want to order some merch now until the 24th is the best time. You want to use the promo code SHADOW99. You can also support me on alt tech like Patreon and Subscribestar. But honestly, if you're still watching this video right now to the end, thank you. That is truly the best way to support me, and of course whitelist me on your ad blocker. Take care, agents, and be sure to stay tuned for more daily, dedicated Division 2 content. This is Agent Shadow signing off. I will see you in the next video. Take care, agents.